Hello everyone, in this video I will discuss in a nutshell about the Department of Peacekeeping Operations in United Nations. So let's begin. The Department of Peacekeeping Operations is under Secretary General. The Department of Peacekeeping Operations is responsible for assisting member states and the Secretary General in their efforts to maintain, achieve, and sustain international peace and security. It does this by planning, preparing, and conducting United Nations peacekeeping operations in accordance with mandates provided by the member states. The department undertakes contingency planning for possible new peacekeeping operations, secures through negotiations with member states the civilian, military, and police personnel, the military units, and the equipment and services required to accomplish the mandate. It provides political and executive guidance, direction, and support to peacekeeping operations, maintains contacts with parties to conflicts and with members of the Security Councils on the implementation of Council resolutions, manages integrated operational teams to direct and supervise all peacekeeping operations, and it also advises the Security Council and member states on key peacekeeping issues, including security sector reform, the rule of law, and the disarmament, demobilization, and reintegration of former combatants. It analyzes emerging policy questions and best practices related to peacekeeping and formulates policies, procedures, and general peacekeeping doctrine, and also coordinates all UN activities related to landmines and develops and supports mine action programs in peacekeeping and emergency situations. The head of the department, the Under Secretary General for Peacekeeping Operations, directs peacekeeping operations on behalf of the Secretary General, formulates policies and guidance for operations, and advises the Secretary General on all matters relating to peacekeeping and mine action. Now let's talk about reform and revitalization, peacekeeping and disarmament. During the first month of his tenure, Secretary General Ban Ki moon proposed a number of basic reforms aimed at strengthening the capacity of the UN to carry out its mission in the world. Among these was the restructuring of the United Nations peacekeeping and disarmament machinery. In a letter to the General Assembly, the Secretary General noted that the number of peace operations is at an all time high with almost 100,000 personnel in the field. Reforms in 2000 had aimed to enable DPKO to launch one new multidisciplinary mission per year, but the last 36 months alone have seen the startup or expansion of 9 field missions, with 3 additional missions currently in active startup. Over the course of the next year, the number of personnel in UN peace operations could increase by as much as 40%, the Secretary General said. He therefore proposed the creation of a new Department of Field Support to handle the planning, deployment, and support of peacekeeping operations, leaving the Department of Peacekeeping Operations to focus on such matters of strategic oversight and operational policy guidance. On 15 March 2007, the General Assembly endorsed this proposal, and on 29 June 2007, it formally established the new Department of Field Support to ensure more effective, coherent, and responsive support to field operations and more efficient management of resources. The Under Secretary General heading DFS reports to and receives direction from the Under Secretary General for Peacekeeping Operations to ensure unity of command and clear lines of responsibility. This reform is to be phased in over a period of 12 months. Also, on 15th March, the Assembly endorsed the Secretary General's proposal to transform the Department of Disarmament Affairs into a United Nations Office for Disarmament Affairs UNODA to be led by a High Representative for Disarmament who would report directly to the Secretary General. The reform is intended to promote fresh progress on the disarmament agenda, including efforts towards entry into force of the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty, which was adopted by the General Assembly in September 1996. Now we have to talk about Department of Field Support. It is under Secretary General. On 29 June 2007, the General Assembly formally established the Department of Field Support as proposed by Secretary General Ban Ki-moon earlier in the year. The reform undertaken in the face of growing demand for UN peacekeeping aims to strengthen the capacity of the organization to manage and sustain such operations. It is to be phased in over a period of 12 months. Under the new arrangement, DPKO is responsible for strategic oversight and operational political guidance, while DFS is charged with planning, deployment, and maintenance. In creating DFS, the Assembly also approved a record of $5.25 billion budget for 13 of the 16 active peacekeeping operations it would oversee. In order to help ensure unity of command, the Undersecretary General for Field Support reports to and receives direction from the Undersecretary General for Peacekeeping Operations. In approving this structure, wherein the head of one department reports to and takes direction from another head of department, the Assembly stated that this would create no precedent with respect to other reporting relationships within the Secretariat. Now let's talk about the Office of Disarmament Affairs. It is under High Representative for Disarmament. The Office for Disarmament Affairs promotes the goal of nuclear disarmament and non-proliferation, as well as the strengthening of the disarmament regimes with respect to other weapons of mass destruction, including chemical and biological weapons. It promotes disarmament in the area of conventional weapons, especially with respect to implementation of the 2001 Program of Action on Illicit Trade in Small Arms. The weapons of choice in contemporary conflicts. This includes arms collection and stockpile management programs, as well as the disarmament and demobilization of former combatants and their reintegration into civil society. It also advocates restrictions on and eventual disarmament of anti personnel landmines. UNODA provides substantive and organizational support for norm setting in the area of disarmament through the work of the General Assembly and its first committee, the Disarmament Commission, the Conference on Disarmament, and other bodies. It fosters preventive disarmament measures such as dialogue, transparency, and confidence building on military matters, including the United Nations Register for Conventional Arms and standardizing reporting on military expenditures. It encourages regional disarmament efforts, including nuclear weapons free zones and regional and sub regional transparency regimes. It also provides information and supports educational initiatives on UN disarmament efforts. In the first half of 2007, this body was transformed from the Department of Disarmament Affairs to the Office of Disarmament Affairs as part of the Secretary General's efforts to bring new momentum to the United Nations disarmament agenda. That's it for now, and bye for now. So please like, share, and comment on the videos, and do subscribe to our channel. Thank you.